and welcome back to another edition of the Daily Beacon Sports Podcast Show, whatever you want to call this. Feel like we haven't been able to do one of these in a while, but we're standing on top of Regal Stadium, overlooking Sherri Parker Lee Field, where the Lady Vols just clinched their second straight Super Regional appearance with a win over Virginia. Super Regionals will happen right here next weekend. We've got full coverage on the website, but we'll talk about it here for about 3, 4, 5 minutes, so bear with us a little bit. First thing, Jack, what's your takeaways from this weekend?
I think my biggest takeaway is the pitching. Tennessee didn't allow a single run all weekend, and that was a combination of Carlin Pickens throwing 2 shutouts. She shut out Dayton on Friday and then today, and then Peyton Gottschall throwing that 5-inning shutout, as the offense also carried them all weekend, because the offense needed to send a message after that 2-1 loss to LSU in the SEC tournament. Didn't get the bats going. Dayton, they were a bit sluggish, even though they did still score 3 runs, of course. Every time Tennessee scored 3 or more this season, Tennessee has won. So Tennessee's offense needed to show up, and they did that on Saturday, blowing out Virginia and then winning 6-0 again today.
Let's not skim over something you just said there. Tennessee did not allow a run through 3 games this regional. They went through the entire regional and shut everybody out. I'm curious to see the hits for the weekend because it was not a lot. Virginia today ended up getting 2 hits across on Carlin Pickens, but she was perfect through 3 or 4 before a walk, and neither of the hits were barreled. Either they were little bloopers that dropped in the outfield. So you can't say enough about this pitching staff this weekend.
And that's an advantage that Tennessee has going into the Super with Alabama, because Alabama has Caleb Beaver, yes, but they haven't really proven themselves beyond Beaver, whereas Tennessee has Gottschall, has Pickens that they can go to. Against LSU, they started Pickens, put Gottschall in, and then put Pickens back in just because that's what they had to do. Even though it didn't work out, they still limited a very good LSU offense that absolutely destroyed Southern Illinois today to just 2 runs in that game.
Yeah, and I think I saw a stat this weekend that said Peyton Gottschall's ERA is like 8th or 9th in the country, and then Carlin Pickens is ahead of her in that same ranking. So it's crazy that this team has that pitching depth, and they both bring something different to the table. Today, Carlin was working fastball, 75, 76, 74 in that range. And she's so tall and lanky that when she's releasing it, it's basically on top of you already. And then she mixes in a changeup at 64 or 65 miles an hour. It's virtually unhittable, and Virginia was not anywhere close to it. The home plate umpire didn't help either pitcher out today, but it definitely looked like Carlin was giving Virginia some trouble. Let's look at the hitters today and this weekend. I guess Riley West came up big today for the Lady Vols, and then obviously Zeta Pooney and some other players for this team. Kiki Malloy got out of her slump this weekend. Just talk about the offense, and I guess it's easy to hit when your pitchers aren't giving up any runs, but it sure makes it a lot more fun when you score a lot of runs.
And that was something that was talked about in yesterday's press conference, how much having that good performance from Pickens and Gottschall takes the pressure off the hitters. And that's been huge for this team. Riley West with a huge day today, 3 for 4 with 5 RBI, including that home run. She's been very good all season, but she's really turned it on this postseason. She kind of struggled yesterday out of the gate, but that last at bat, and Karen Weekly pointed this out at the press conference as well, that Riley West was very consistent with that last at bat, and she was able to carry that momentum over into the day. And then it's just the competitive nature of this team. Losing to LSU, only scoring 3 against Dayton. They wanted to show up at the plate, and they did so yesterday and today.
You've watched a lot more of this team than me, so maybe you can fill in some more information here. But it seems like Kiki Malloy, over the past couple weeks, obviously a slump for her is not a slump for anybody else, but it's not hitting 400, 450. It feels like she was trying to reach and stress and kind of press at the plate. Pitchers are not going to give her anything to hit. Everybody knows she's one of the best hitters, if not the best hitter in the SEC, maybe even the country. She's not going to get fastballs in the zone. I think it's easy to say that. Today, you look at her, 4 walks, 2 runs, really patient at the plate. She fouled off a couple pitches, caught a couple barrels that landed just foul. But those pitches that were out of the zone, she wasn't chasing today. I feel like that's been the difference for her, to go from slumping Kiki Malloy to getting on base and kind of turning over the lineup.
And it's a completely different approach to yesterday, too. She hit that home run to open the game yesterday, and she said after that, assistant coach Chris Melville just told her, have a home run derby. And she did that on Saturday effectively, and then today it was a completely different approach. Going up against
a lot better pitcher than what she faced.
Going up against Eden Bigham, who came into this game with 14 scoreless innings against Miami, who is the best offense in the country, statistically.
I think for Kiki Malloy to continue to her offensive dominance through the Super Regional and hopefully to Oklahoma City for this team, it has to be a mental game for her, like we saw this weekend. A lot more patience out of Kiki Malloy instead of trying to chase or press some of those pitches wait for her pitch. A day like today, I don't think anybody in Tennessee's lineup will complain. She got leadoff hitter, gets on base 4 times, scores 2 runs out of your 6 for you. I mean, you can't ask much more out of her. And then whenever your leadoff hitter is getting on with 4 walks, Taylor Panel didn't have the best day behind her, but then you go to McKenna Gibson, Zeta Pooney, Riley West. That's a lot of tough outs, especially when you have somebody with speed like Kiki Malloy in the bases that you have to worry about. It changes the dynamic for this offense. Going forward, Jack, maybe an early look at Alabama. What do you think this team has to improve out of this weekend, if anything? Obviously, the pitching was stout, but there's some stuff that you want to improve on, like maybe a base running error that cost Destiny Rodriguez a home run. But going into the Super Regional, what are you looking for out of this team?
I think it's just consistency, because you know you're going to get Caleb Beaver twice. Yeah. And when they got Caleb Beaver on the second time on Sunday, when they played in Tuscaloosa, they weren't able to have that same success. So it's just consistency. This feels like a series that you just throw the records out the window. It's Tennessee and Alabama, 2 of the most traditional programs in the sport. And you know how bad Tennessee wanted that sweep down at the Rhodes House in Tuscaloosa, and they didn't get it.
And with Beaver in the circle, how important is a win on Friday? Because whenever you get to Sunday, theoretically you lose Friday, win Saturday, you get to Sunday, then it's really records out of the window. It's win or go home at that point. How important is a win for Tennessee on Friday against Alabama?
I think it's just important to know that you can hit off Caleb Beaver again. They were able to do so on Friday, have some limited success, and then on the Sunday game they weren't able to. Just from a mental standpoint, I think it's important to essentially let Beaver know that you're for real. And then it's on Alabama coach Patrick Murphy to decide, do we stick with Beaver? Do we maybe go to Jayla Torrance? Do we maybe go to Alex Salter? And at that point, you're casting doubt into that Alabama team.
Yeah. Well, we'll be here. No doubt about that. UT Daily Beacon will keep you covered. This weekend we have full coverage. Jack's about to go right. I've got 43 photos to caption from today, and then we'll be right back at it next weekend. So for Jack Church, I'm Caleb Jarreau. This is another production of whatever we're calling this, the Daily Beacon Sports Show. Thanks for watching.